Welcome in, guys. It is Thursday, November 3rd. Game 5 of the World Series tonight. Shout out Astros, JV. Definitely no shout out to Booze or Philadelphia in any sense of the word. Just kidding, Booze. I see you looking.
Ooh, how fun is our new logo, Megan? Did
That's
you
what I
see
just said.
that?
It's fantastic. So shout out to Booze for that. If you made that, shout out for that.
Yeah.
But only the thumbnail. Shout out Rico Bosco. Watched Pick'em this morning. Man, how are you feeling?
This is a much more friendly environment, so good.
You're good, bro.
Rico, can I ask, why, what happened? Okay, so everybody knows that, I was a Barstool, fan, but I was never a stoolie, right? I just had too many other things going on. Megan is, a stoolie. So I always ask her, the shit that I don't get that's, from, 10 years ago. What did you do to become the Barstool punching bag? Because I'm totally a fucking writer, but then I hear Brandon Walker say that I'm not allowed to be, and I'm like, well, Rico's never done anything wrong by me, so
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of those. I got to get in the time machine. I wish I could figure it out, and tie up the rope and fucking turn it to 88 and figure it out because I don't know. But at some point, you're right. Somewhere along the line, it became a lot of fun to throw jabs and I guess punch up, punch down. I don't know which way you want to say, but
well, Dave is definitely punching down, but I mean, Brandon
yeah.
Walker,
But
I
then
would like to think
it's
that is not punching down.
fair enough.
Low man wins. I will say the not so joke about Dave's nose growing. That one was funny. I love a good dad joke. Always can appreciate that one. That was fantastic. You have to Kelly. You
I
got to
missed
watch
that one.
You got to go watch Pick'em. It was a great.
You know what it is? I'm guilty of only watching
Can't
the
live,
highlights
can't
on the
live a day
Twitter
in
feed.
Rico's head. Not one day. Not one
No,
second.
it's the full episodes is where you really.
There's
Megan,
voices in there.
we've been over this. Rico and I are the same person. I've just learned through my elderly state to not let people get me to that level anymore. The fight or flight used to only be fight, and now it's fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah, but now you weren't known as the junkyard dog. Rico has a position to fill, and he's got to do what he's got to do, and that's part of the job. It's part of being the Barstool.
Being Rico. Got it.
Viva everyone. All right, let's get into some fucking football. All right, it's enough talking about how great Rico is and how funny he is and how Pick'em wouldn't be a thing without him. So let's just throw that out there. But we'll all stop complimenting him and we'll move on. We'll go to Thursday night football. We go ahead and start with this because this is a game, the one game Philly's going to win tonight. So we'll start. We'll start there. And I'll go ahead and say that I personally don't have a play on this game just as of yet. Kelly and I were talking about Eagles first half. I'm like, that's just been money. But Texans have lost 5 out of their last 6 and haven't won a home game. But then I saw a stat earlier that favorites of 13 or more, 3-10 in the last 13. So again, I've just been trying to figure it out because I've been so cold this NFL season that, part of me was like, maybe just take the Texans, but I'm not down that bad yet. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm not down that bad yet either, Megan, but I'm going to let Rico talk because somehow I just ruined my voice completely with that cough. So I'll let Rico go first and then I'll add to it.
So it's heavily juiced, but they knocked the field goals down to 2.5. I think it's minus 180, 185. I don't think I want to play that. I do have a strong feeling on Jalen Hurts over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Last week it was plus money. The line has finally adjusted itself back to, I think it's minus 121 this week. I put Hurts in the parlay Sunday against the Steelers. I just felt like he was going to go off. I would go with Hurts tonight over 1.5 on the passing touchdowns. And I like Dameon Pierce over 15.5 rushing attempts. I think Houston's going to.
I was about to say those are two great props, but I'm kind of, I have a sweet tooth. I need a double dip. I need some ice cream. Rico, give me 2 scoops.
Devontae Smith. 13-1.
13-1, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you saw when guys get hot, you saw what they did with AJ Brown last week. I think they'll probably try to focus. Don't get me wrong, he could probably double dip, he's a beast. But Smith underneath on a quick crossing route, they take care of him. He didn't really do much last week to try to get him involved. Take a stab with that. We hit last week. with oh God, who did I hit it with? Oh, Waddle.
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 It was
Yeah, because I
Waddle.
knew the Lions were going to be a disaster. So Waddle. So we're on a 1-0 streak.
And that double dip is pretty much paying for the whole year thus far. So shout out Rico. Shout out for the dessert. Always love a good dessert play. Kelly.
I love that Rico just said we're 1-0 to start the week or whatever, because that's
Spot the lie. 1-0 in
love
the
it
last
because
one. Spot the lie.
that's exactly my argument here, and this could be a die on the hill segment. Full disclosure, anybody on Twitter that's either in our profession, they're a tout, sell picks, they're looking for exposure, they're going to take the data points and they're going to skew them to exactly what they want to say. Megan just said double-digit favorites since 2020 are 3-10 against the spread. Well, guess what?
I said something like that. You know, I pull numbers out of my ass. I am
No,
never
you're not pulling numbers out of your ass, because I have one as well that I sent to my friend group because we were all trying to make a case for the Texans. Of course we were, after no Brandon Cooks. Why wouldn't we do that? Since 1999, double-digit Thursday night favorites, 21-6. That's almost 78% against the spread. So, like, and then boom, Ariel sends me a text combating the other side, which was from Barstool, exactly what you said. So keep in mind that when people are sending these types of things out, it's to give you a reason to find a team to bet on, to bet one side or the other. I do not live and die by these trends. We just need them for talking points. So I love that Rico used his example of 1-0. It was perfect. He's like, we're 1-0, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, it just is kind of like how, you know, everybody, the narrative is Justin Verlander's 0-6 in his last 8 career. I mean, that's a talking point, right? It's trying to get you to bet Philly. I don't know, but I won't be doing it. I'm so excited for the game. I'm just excited for this week. It's either going to be
Did you want to talk? We can talk baseball, Megan, instead of horrible Thursday night
we don't need
football
to.
game.
We don't need to. I don't want to ruin the vibes or what. Just chill. It's either going to be a really good week for the naked monies or a really fucking bad week over here. Between my husband and I, we have some significant numerical amounts between the Astros World Series.
Do you have as much money as Mattress Mac?
I wish I could even fathom having as much money as Mattress Mac.
I can't believe how Philly treated him. When I saw Big Cat retweet that yesterday, I'm like, the guy's like 90 years old. He's the sweetest guy ever.
He's actually supposedly a humongous asshole, but we won't get into that.
No, I can confirm he's not. At least not to me, he wasn't. And if you remember, I treat people how I see them treat other people, not how they treat me. Yeah, Thursday night football. I feel like it's Eagles first half or pass. Obviously, primetime unders have been doing well. This is just like a don't overthink it type of scenario. If you like the Eagles, bet them in the first half. If not, there's a chance they could get backdoored. I want no part of this game. Whose idea was this game?
I feel like these Thursday night football slates, or that or Monday, all the primetime Monday and Thursday slots have just been like, do you guys want a really shitty game or nothing at all? And it's like, just give us the shitty games, we guess. I feel
like this is like Jeff Bezos' karma or something, though. The NFL's like, here you go. Here's your Thursday night football Amazon slate.
Oh, gross. All right, I'm good with that game. Rico's looking at Jalen Hurts over the 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's also looking at field goals, even though they are juiced to all hell. Kelly's looking at the first half. What is that? What is the line there?
I think it's 7.5.
Well, it's getting higher every time I look. It's probably 7.5 if I had to guess right now at the Barstool Sportsbook, but I'll pull that up for you.
They give you 7.5. Is that what that is?
I bet it is. It only makes sense to at this point in time. First half, the current line's 13.5 total. Right now is 45. And the first half line is total touchdown. First touchdown score. That's what I want to get back into, Megan. First half line is 7.5. Philly minus 107.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Probably be the play. But as of now, my money's invested in one thing, and that is the Houston Astros. Game 5. Let's go. All right. It's enough talking about Thursday night football. Let's go ahead and move on to college football. I've talked to Rico and Kelly about it, so I won't talk much about it here. I don't know what I want to do about this Coastal game. The line is completely flipped. It's now +3. I want to take them as dogs at home. Last week I took them as dogs, and because you don't really get them that often as dogs, and it ended up working in my favor. But this line is wacky. I don't know what I want to do. So we'll go ahead and start with a game that I do want to take, and this is going to be my die on the hill segment, if you will. I don't think. I like Florida this week, +3.5 at Texas A&M, and I think that they haven't been playing as good as they are, and that they're going to win out the rest of their games. That is my die on the hill. I like them plus the 3.5. They've lost to Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, all three ranked teams. They beat Utah, which obviously all of us were semi-high or very high on to start the year. And look, what there needs to do is there's a magic number that Florida needs to do as far as rushing. They need to rush for 210 yards. They are 4-0 when they rush for 210 yards. They're 0-4 whenever they do not. So what I need them to do is absolutely gash this Texas A&M team, and I think they might be able to do that. I have not been high on Texas A&M all year. I know they've been getting on a little bit more of a correcting path, if you will. But I still believe in this Florida team. I still think they're gritty, and I still like Billy Napier a lot. So that's my first pick, lock. I don't use that word, if you will. Also, dogs are 11-0 in the last 11 meetings here. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to lay points with Jimbo, Megan. I don't hate it either. I don't think I'll get to the window with this Florida team. I have an ugly enough card. I was reading some of the Megan asked what my parlay was, and I said I got to finish it up tonight. Running out of time, but it's ugly. I mean, it's real ugly.
Yeah, it was gross whenever you started. Do you want to go ahead and just give leg one? What you're thinking? You got to give the people something.
I'm going to be honest with you. So far, I have bet more NFL games this week than I have college. The only game that I bet so far was Iowa +5. I bet that on Tuesday. It's now 3.5. I do think Jeff Brom, while I appreciate him as an underdog, he is terrible as a home favorite. Just very mediocre at best. I made this game a field goal at 3.5. I would still take the points with the Hawkeyes. I think they have a shot to win this one outright. They need to win here to keep adding up those check marks so they can become bowl eligible. This is a really solid defense. Maybe they can get a pick six or a special teams play to go their way and be able to spring the outright win. I think this looks like an ugly knockout, drag out, Big Ten, something ridiculous like 13-10 final would not shock me here.
Like that when Iowa's involved, anything with a single digit wouldn't surprise me. So, I mean, it is what it is. Rico, what Pac-12 or small ass team you got? What you gonna give for me?
No, I got blue chips. I got brand names this week. It hasn't
Let's go, baby. Who we got? Give me something good.
It hasn't been great. I'm wondering to see my sister's reaction over there, Kelly. Hopefully she can talk me in and out of it. Kelly, I'm on Clemson. Fairly big.
I'm on Clemson too, but this shouldn't be good, right? Clemson, say no. Well, that's a bad pick, so that we don't all agree.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, Clemson's defense is still pretty legit, especially running the ball, right? Average, allow 85 yards a game. If you're going to make Notre Dame one-dimensional, I'll take my chances with Drew Pine throwing the ball, who hasn't necessarily been over-accurate.
Have they announced that it's going to be Drew Pine?
I was fairly sure it is. What are you hearing?
I got to look still. That's a game that I kind of wrote off early in the week as what I thought was more of a coin flip. I hadn't heard otherwise for a couple of days.
I just think Notre Dame has just gotten, I don't want to say gotten lucky, but I just feel like they have improved, but there's
Megan, they were my only winner last week.
Would they go with you're saying they might go with Buckner coming back?
Let me look. I'm looking right now. Because I had heard some different rumors swirling, if you will.
Okay. Well, Pine's thrown 2 interceptions in the last 2 weeks. He's not overly accurate. I'll take my chances.
It still looks like Buckner's out.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll take my chances with Notre Dame in that. Listen, everyone's talking about Clemson not being great. I think the ACC is a little bit better than people give it credit for. Like, Wake is a really good offense.
except for last week.
Yeah, that was. I walked into that one. That's bet the number, don't bet the team. That was a stupid.
You and I were both on it, so that was not a troll to you by any means.
No, it wasn't. It was just
being a fucking idiot.
But even as good as and I said it, I'm like, I think Wake can outscore Louisville. They really.
Yeah, I just thought that they wouldn't be able to keep pace with Wake at all.
So did I. But sometimes the number just tells you more, So that was an ugly third quarter. But if you're gonna make Notre Dame one-dimensional, I think I like Clemson with that. It looks like Ungalele's going to be back under center, but they could get Klubnik going. Kind of liked what I saw out of him last week. I don't know. I just think Dabo's in a flex spot here, like big win. And, I love how people are like, Notre Dame on the road. Notre Dame has not been what it's been. Navy goes in there and fucking wins. You know, like let's be serious. Didn't Duke go in there and beat Notre Dame a couple of years ago or something to lead? Like, there's a lot of bad wins out there with Notre Dame over the years.
Yeah, I mean, my only concession here is that they play up to the level of competition. That's why I was on them last week, and a flat spot for Syracuse. Clemson coming off a bye with a scary loss, right? They didn't lose, but they could have. They were down 21-10. They came back.
Well, that game's always close between Q's and Clemson.
DJ looks like he is playing, as far as I'm seeing.
Everything Dabo's saying is it's DJ's time to go. They're going with he's the quarterback. We're going with him. But Klubnik was pretty good last week, so like that's a viable option off the bench. So we'll see. But I think Clemson's going to bully him. I think Clemson wins the game. So I'm with Clemson.
Here's a good stat for you, and this is what I was looking for. This is exactly why I didn't take the Irish, because I was considering
them. And I got 3.5.
They are the worst red zone defense when it comes to rushing touchdowns. 85% conversion rate for their opponents.
Clemson should be able to eat. They should be.
They should be able to.
So Rico, hopefully we can cash a ticket with that one. Team ticket, if you will. Sorry that Kelly. Well, I'm sure we'll find something that we're all on. Maybe not though. Who knows?
I don't like when we're all on it. You know why?
Yeah, we did it at one time and it worked, and then the last 2 times it's not. So we're 1 and 2 in the last 3. So we'll be all right. All right. We'll segue from that Clemson game because there's one that I like that we were kind of talking about and intertwined there. And that's Syracuse at Pitt. I like Syracuse. I got a +4. I think this line just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think Pitt's been that great. This Orange defense has been fantastic. And they lost to Kelly, as you called, a flat spot against Notre Dame. And then they lost the game to Clemson, which was like a 4-point game. This Q's team is going to get up for this game. This is going to be a get right spot, if you will. I think they should be all up in Slovis's face. And yeah, I like Syracuse catching points here. It just doesn't make sense.
I got no opinion there, Megan.
Run it. Yeah. I mean, anytime you can run the ball, I'll trust you.
Both of you guys, do y'all need, I can't use drug. Do you guys need anything? Because both of you seem like y'all are down and out.
No, you're just going.
I went 1-5 on Saturday. I just don't.
Kelly, I lose all the time. Get over it, bro.
I don't get over it. I'm the worst. I'm the sorest loser on the planet. I am
also a very sore loser. I fucking hate to lose. And my name is Megan making money. Do you understand what that does to people? Like, hey, Megan losing. We get it. Well, come on, guys. Let's get some fucking energy in here. I couldn't live a moment in my head.
Also, I'm giving out teams like Iowa. It's really not really that exciting of stuff. I mean, you ready for the next one I'm going to give out? Because the only person that's going to be fucking excited about this one's going to be our producer, Jake.
Well, go ahead and give us Virginia. Shoot yourself in the foot. Go ahead.
Oh my God. I'm just going to take the better defense plus the points here. Virginia has a terrible offense. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is a flat spot for the Heels that have surely already got their eyeballs set on Clemson in the ACC championship game, right? I mean, I am digging so deep. Full disclosure, Megan, I went back and I was looking at my parlays over the last 9 years. And you know when they win in September, like second, third, fourth, fifth, 6th week of college football. But like week 10, teams stop caring. They're not going to a bowl game.
Yeah, Rico looks like he's down and out. Rico's like, I'm done with the show.
Well, no, Virginia makes a little bit of sense, but I do still think even if they're going to lose high scoring. I'm on Carolina's team total. So Kelly can win. I think Carolina gets over the 33.5.
Oh, that's why you were sitting back.
Yeah, that's one of my 5. That's one of my 5. And you talk about Virginia's defense being okay. They were on 2 backup quarterbacks the last couple of weeks. One of them was Louisville, where they gave up 34. So Drake May is a different kind of animal. Kelly, you can win outright. You can cover. All good. Just get me my 34. Get me to the window. I haven't seen that window in fucking years. So I got to get
disgusting. But if you look at the line move, it's down to 7 from 10. I took it at 7.5. I just have to hope that they can lose by less than a touchdown. I'm not putting in my money line parlay because I can't trust Virginia to win the game. That's my problem. And, with UNC having Wake on deck, yeah, Wake's off a loss as well, but we're having Wake on deck. This Virginia game, God, did you guys watch 1 second of that game in Miami last weekend? It was like, I feel this. I need to go take a shower. And Megan wants me to get excited talking about teams like this. Like, I'm like digging in the dumpster trying to find college football games for her, and she wants to complain.
I'm not
Miami,
complaining. We
Virginia.
gotta bring some liveliness, man. Like, we can't just sit here and be like,
Miami, Virginia, 14-12 is what they put on the TV in the corner of the waiting room of hell. Like, before you go die, you have to watch that fucking game with no touchdowns. That's
You're just in purgatory forever. You're just in purgatory, and you have to watch that game on repeat.
crazy.
That's Rico's die on a hill. He's just
I got other
game
die
you
on a
watch.
hill.
That's the game you watch while you're waiting to go to hell.
Kelly, so what's the big one? You had such a big opinion last year on Georgia, Alabama. I believe, was that the SEC championship game? Or
Yes.
no, was that the first one?
Well, so this is what I did.
twice.
I had Alabama plus 6.5 in the SEC championship game. They won, and on the money line, that was my big dog. And then I had Georgia winning the Natty.
So, do you think Tennessee is going to be the squarest dog on the board again this week?
Okay,
that's kind of what I'm asking. So I'm buying into a little bit of the team of destiny. I think it's difficult to beat Bama and Georgia in the same year outright. Do I think Tennessee can win the game? 100% with that offense. Georgia's looked human. They're at home, but with the fact that it's 8, I'm on Tennessee, and I'm very worried that the public is on that. I kind of want to see what you guys dispel with that.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Because Kelly, last week you're like, I'm done overlooking. Like, if it's a square dog, I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to play it. Like, I should have played. You should have played Tennessee last week or the week before.
Against Alabama, yeah.
That New York trip is screwing up my weeks here.
So here's my problem. Okay, you have a Tennessee team that just got put number 1 in the college football rankings, right? The playoff rankings, even though they're not the number 1 team. And so you've now got an interesting dichotomy of how people are going to bet this game, right? Well, of course, the number 1 team catching over a touchdown in Georgia. I will say, however, if you look at that Kent State game and what they did to Georgia in the first half, that's exactly what Tennessee's going to do, but better. And if I'm Kirby Smart, that's the game I'm watching. I mentioned Josh Heupel's first half abilities, if you will, since dating back to UCF, cashed again last weekend. I think that's probably where I'd be looking in this one. Maybe Georgia can pull away late here. I mean, we're looking at Georgia, who's got number 1 in red zone offense, number 2 in red zone defense, number 3 in pass efficiency, number 4 in times of possession. And what did I say last week? I thought Kentucky was going to win the time of possession battle. And you know what? They didn't even do that because Tennessee doesn't need to win the time of possession because they have such a high-powered, fast offense. They don't give a shit.
Okay, so we have to wrap relatively soon, but just out of a question, I'm just curiosity. So obviously, Tennessee beating Bama, taking the field goal post with them, everyone rushing the field. Was that their national championship? I mean, and then Bama's not Bama, right? Like, I'm fully convinced that not LSU, only will LSU cover the 13, they will also win outright because I am delusional. But was that since Bama and the notoriety of the name Alabama and Nick Saban and his 7 national titles, 6 at Alabama, 1 at LSU.
I'll give you why it's not.
Okay, please, because I've been debating it.
Fair, and I totally get it. It happened off the field. We haven't seen Tennessee, at least I haven't. Don't get me wrong. They celebrated that Bama win. The kids probably went out, partied. They felt like they did win the national championship in terms of their faces, everything like that, right? What would make me worry is if they then, typical Tennessee, doesn't show up and loses to Kentucky. They came out and beat the fuck out of a decent Kentucky team, above average Kentucky team.
I think Kentucky's a good team.
So I think, I played low-level college football when we were pretty bad. We made one run towards a conference title, towards a division title. And the way our defensive coordinator laid it out was like rising through the boxing ranks. Like, hey, you got to win this qualifier so you can get to this qualifier. And then when you get to this qualifier, you're going to win it, and then we get to the title shot. Win the qualifiers. All we want is the title shot. We're going to be a big underdog, but all we want is that title shot. Seems like Tennessee has done their job to get to this title fight. I have a hard time believing they're going to get flat out knocked out without trying. Like without
I agree
I know, and don't get me wrong, Georgia can smush them and things can go wrong, but I think Tennessee has done all the right things to get to this title fight. I think they deliver. I think they stay in the number.
All right,
So
one more
the
question.
fans overreacting worries me way less than the players.
Okay, so just another quick question. As far as Georgia, though, do you not think Georgia has heard from the like Georgia has been just a sleeping
100%.
giant, so all they're hearing is Tennessee, 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 Tennessee.
100%.
If I'm Kirby Smart, if I'm fucking Georgia, I'm gonna go out there, lay my nuts on the table, and completely roll this powerhouse, this 2019.
I mean, in theory, it sounds like they can
Put
do
'em
that
to
on
bed.
paper, Megan.
What?
But it's in theory, I absolutely think Georgia can do that on paper.
Yeah, right.
That's why I haven't bet Tennessee yet.
And I haven't
The
either.
the market's moving the other direction. And my big question here, and this is the giant circle I ask myself of questions in my fucking own head, like Rico, over and over and over again. My problem is this: they cannot match scores with Tennessee. Their defense is going to have to come up big, whether that's a pick six, whether that's a bunch of turnovers, whether that's getting Tennessee to come off sides, whatever it is, something is going to have to throw them off of that rhythm because they are snapping the ball basically every 3 seconds. It's so fast.
Yeah.
And most defenses aren't prepared for that. And that's why I think also we saw that Georgia wasn't prepared for it because Kent State plays the same way. And that's the only like real team that they've played that I can even give an example. I know those aren't even in the same conversation normally, but that's my big question mark here. I wish I had a better answer for this game.
Yeah. All right, so Rico, you are on Tennessee plus the 8.
Yeah, small. To round it out, I think Baylor plus the 3. Listen, a lot of people are saying like, "Hey, Oklahoma's turning it around." They could have a fine season. They'll end up like 8-4 or whatever the fuck.
I like Baylor too, but I'm scared to put it out. I have it on my paper.
I like
the
Baylor.
second one right there.
I like Baylor. I'm on UNC. We touched on Clemson, and then the other one is a small one. I like USC Cal over the 59.5. USC offense obviously delivers. Cal's defense gives up 300 through the air, and Cal offensively is not a complete lame duck. I think they can get me the 14 to 20 that I need here because I'm pretty positive USC scoring 40. So that'll take care of it.
That'll take care of that, and that will also take care of this episode of Money Shots. Make sure you are liking and subscribing to the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube page so that you can go back and watch this episode before putting in your bets on Saturday. Again, this is Thursday. You're going to need this show for Saturday. Go back and watch it. Make sure you're following me. Make sure you're following Kelly and Rico. Make sure you're watching Pick'em. Make sure you're watching Money Shots. Every single Barstool show you can ever imagine. Make sure that you're watching it. Because, they're funny and they're great and we give you winners sometimes. But yeah, we'll see you guys back here tomorrow with Steve and Shay to go over the NFL weekend. We love you.